Hey, Nikk Legend, and today we're going to talk about how to transition out of your 9 to 5, and I actually have a guest here who's done exactly that. His name's Fredo. He is the director of sales of a technology company, and not too long ago he worked a normal job. So I wanted to do a quick interview with him, have him share his story, and hopefully you guys can pick up a nugget or two.
I'm the realest one that's repping. Oh my God, if I die, I'm a legend.
So Fredo, thank you, man.
Thank you so much for that. Appreciate it.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
So we'll just jump right into this.
Yeah. So I think when I first met Nikk, I was really at a low point in my life. I had just gotten in a huge car accident. I tried to start a business, and I ended up failing really, really bad. I lost everything I had. I was in debt. And I just felt like a failure, and I was embarrassed. And I think it's crazy how much can happen if you really set the intention and really focus on putting in the work.
And how long ago was that?
That was about a year ago.
Year ago. So from 1 year ago, you went from being in debt, working for a company, or starting,
I was basically an intern,
Yeah.
and I was helping out with marketing.
Yeah.
Trying to build myself back up.
Yeah.
I was doing some consulting work on the side, but it was just like small gigs here and there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was trying to figure out how can I really find something that can generate consistent revenue for me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I saw Nikk online.
Awesome. And then so where you're at now, so we could just fill the people in. So where are you at now?
Yeah, so right now, to date, I made about $90,000 just from trading alone on my spare time, to now being the head of sales and marketing for a technology company that's scaling across the company. It's the most I've ever been paid in my entire life, and I paid off all my debt, all my student loans, and it's unreal, And I think part of it is just really, again, the mindset. So I went from not having anything, being in debt, broke, depressed, sad, to now having the job that I dreamt of, doing amazing things.
I think that's called freedom. You're doing it,
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's awesome. And for those of you guys watching, this is just an inspiring story that when I hear it, I'm like, damn, it's possible. And I think the thing that Fredo did that a lot of people didn't do is he actually had to look, because you just told me this right now. You said, I've realized there's a direct correlation between my skill sets and my income. So 2020, I'm going to continue to develop those skill sets. So when did you actually have that realization, I probably need to learn something new?
I think it really stemmed from me asking myself, where am I going? And what's it gonna take for me to get there? You have to really understand that the person that you want to become, the things that you want to achieve, are going to require a greater mindset, a greater level of thinking, discipline, habits that you don't have right now. And if you're not willing to invest time and money and resources into developing the person that you want to become, well, guess what? You're going to stay exactly where you are right now. And that's what made a huge shift for me, is really understanding that the income, the achievements, the success that you achieve in life is again a direct correlation with the decisions, the thoughts, the mindset, and the skill sets that you adopt and you invest in.
And for those of you guys watching right now, we didn't script any of this. We're just this is what he's saying is real. This is the exact things I talked about in the last video, how to leave your 9 to 5. And I think for me, the one thing that helped me, and I can kind of relate to you, is there was a day that every person that makes this transition from doing something they're probably not too happy about, not super passionate about, and not really just happy with themselves at the end of the day, looking themselves in the mirror, is you have to have that day where you wake up and say, look, it's on me to take responsibility of what's happening. And obviously, I'm getting bad results, so I'm doing the wrong things. And when you have that perspective and can think with if I do the right things and learn the right things, I'm going to get the right results. And then you just start having that expectation. I'm pretty sure now you don't go into this year. What do you expect?
I expect 10x growth for myself, my entire team, and everybody that I come into contact with.
Why was that?
It's because I know that I'm destined for greatness. I have this belief in my mind that every single one of us is born with the intellectual capacity and the potential to achieve anything we want in this life. We're destined for greatness, but the only thing holding us back is ourself, our limiting beliefs. So if we get out of our own way, amazing happens. If we pursue and keep consistent, amazing thing happens. But there's two things that I've realized that hold people back. When you start something and you say, I want to achieve X, Y, or Z, the negative thoughts come in and you feel like you're not capable of doing it. Or two, you feel like deep down inside, you don't deserve it. So you hold yourself back.
So how did you fix that? Because I know how I fix that for myself when I feel like I don't deserve it.
For me, it's asking myself, well, why is this going to be worth it? If you achieve this, then how would it feel? And for me, it was my family. My parents gave everything up for me, and if it's up to be, it's up to me. So seeing my family where they're at, they're my reason, they're my why, they're my purpose. They're the reason why I keep pushing, why I can't give up. And so every single one of us have to have that underlying reason, the purpose, the why. That way, when we're faced with adversity, we can push through it. We can keep going and not give up and throw in the towel, because right when you're about to give up, or right when you're faced with adversity, that's where growth comes in. If you're uncomfortable, if you're losing, if you're failing, the only thing you have to do is not give up. That's it.
So for everybody watching right now, because that's one thing where, like, if you guys look at what you're doing on an everyday basis, first of all, most people are on automatic. They're coasting, right? So that driving factor of that big reason why is a tool that's used to help push through adversity that I've used myself and you use. But the thing that I've done as well is just when I felt like I don't deserve something, I just triple down and work until I'm like, dude, I have no doubt in my mind that I absolutely deserve it, because I can't even imagine working any harder. Like that's the way that I do it. But just to put this in perspective, because I don't know if you guys caught this, Fredo, how old are you?
I'm 27.
You're 27. So where he's at right now in terms of like income bracket wise, he's in the highest income bracket. Okay, he's getting the most you can get taxed in America, and this is something where, think about this. Where were you at 2 years ago? What bracket were you in? Do you know?
Probably the lowest. No,
the lowest.
I didn't even think about it because I know it was going to be the same.
The lowest bracket.
Yeah.
So this is a relatively short amount of time and period where he went from the lowest income bracket to the highest. So now what I want you to give these people here is tell them, like, when that first day kicked off, or you probably were working at this goal of transitioning to the highest bracket, but what did you actually do? Like, what did your process look like? Let's just say a year and a half ago, you're like, okay, I'm ready to do this. I'm ready to go to the top income bracket. What did you do on a weekly basis? Where was your energy at?
I think step one is really having the awareness of what state of mind you're in. I think that was a huge key thing for me. It's we get stuck in these repetitive loops, these bad habits. We get stuck. We hesitate so much. We procrastinate. So step one is really understanding, what am I doing now? Because I guarantee you, if people ask themselves, what's one thing I could be doing better? They know it.
Yeah.
Like, they know the answer. They know what they're doing wrong. They know what they could be doing better.
Yeah.
But it's really holding yourself accountable. I think we expect so much from everybody else, but we expect very little from ourselves.
Yeah.
So when we change that up and stop thinking about what other people think about us, right? Stop seeking external validation and really expect a lot more of ourselves, that's when everything changes. And again, being conscious of what you're thinking about every single day.
I had this talk actually with my staff and the team, and it was like, hey, if someone's not happy with their paycheck, just look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, what did I create or produce today? And that was like it's not something that someone wants to hear.
Yeah, but it's the truth. Like, you have to, you're the reason why where you're at right now, or it's because of you. Every choice that you've done, every decision that you've made up to this point has led you to where you are now. So if you keep making the same decisions, if you keep the same freaking habits, the same level of thinking and mindset, and the same expectations for yourself, then guess what? You're gonna stay where you're at right now.
So what were you doing, like action wise though, like activity wise? Like, what were you doing? Like, there's the mindset, which is obviously you guys need that to even move into any better position. You need to have that on point, but the actions.
I think specifically is, I got in the beginning, I got so caught up on reading, on learning, but never really taking action. And I think the big difference that to make the huge difference for myself is instead of just reading and reading and reading, every time I read something, I did it with intention. Yeah. What's one concept that I can get from this book that I can practically apply in my real life that can make a huge difference for me? So it's asking those questions every time you're reading, or else you're just learning knowledge. And there's a big difference between having knowledge and then practically applying that knowledge, and then becomes wisdom.
Exactly. And that's something like you guys, if you're listening right now and just kind of think with what are you reading on a daily basis. Most people are reading textbooks from school. After school, there's virtually reading disappears, right? But if there is a book, if there is something, very little people go in with that intention. And that's actually something I just started implementing recently, is like when I go in, like we were talking about with our Jay, I'm actually would study something on like Photoshop or Premiere, and I would do it because I wanted our videos here to have a certain look. So I would do it, but that was the key though. I was do it and learn a bit of it so that I can go and give it Jay and be like, hey, like I did a little studying, what about this? Let's try it, but it just makes you so much more in control and valuable, and that's ultimately what you want to do. But next question I have is this, because a lot of people starting off, they let their past stop them. So where did you start, and what kind of family did you grow up in?
Oh, that's a great question. And for me, my past is parents immigrated here from Guatemala. They worked crazy long hours, and they stopped going to school when they were in 6th, 7th grades, no education whatsoever. And they came here and they thought the money that they were making, which maybe $30,000 a year each, was enough. And for us, it was when we went to a grocery shop and we went to the mall or something, it was like these things were off the menu because it was too much money. We couldn't afford that thing. We couldn't afford it. Was always there. So it was like this limited mindset. But the one thing they always did was they always kept pushing forward, and they never gave up. They were very hard-working individuals. They always had faith. And most importantly, they were happy. So that's what was instilled with me from a very young age. But again, it came to a point in my life where I know that I'm destined for a lot more. And it was a switch that happened automatically. It's like, I can do this.
Did you think you wanted to, what was your game plan? Like growing up, for me, I thought I needed to go to school. That was like the thing. I'm going to school. I'm going to be the first person in college, because I had a very similar thing. Like no one's went to college. No one's been a millionaire. No one's done any of that, So what was your initial goal growing up?
My initial goal was to be a car mechanic. That was my thing. But to give you some background, I ended up joining the Air Force right after high school. I became a jet engineer. My background is in aerospace engineering. So that's what I did. I went all across the world working on jets, traveling. And I thought I had it made. You asked my parents, and they were pissed at me when I left everything behind, because I changed career fields, and I wanted to start all over and pursue my passion. And I think people get caught up in...
Did your parents push you to want to like go to school or get like a stable kind of...
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's their idea of success. Is you go to school, you get a degree, and then you get a decent paying job, and you're successful. You made it. It's the American dream. You get a house, and that's it. You're set. But I think we can do a lot more.
What is your goal for 2020 or the next 5 years? Do you have anything solid that you're like, this is what I want, like in the next, I don't know if it's a year goal, 5 years?
So every time this year I set goals for myself and I achieved them, I surpassed them. So for me, I think sometimes goals can be, they're great if they're big, but I think a lot of us set really small goals that are achievable. So for me this year, I really am focusing on not holding myself back. In the past, I think our past holds us back so much. When you fail, when you lose, when you're not good at something, that keeps you from trying again. But I've realized that fear is all in your mind. Failing is not something you should fear. Getting to the end of your life and coming to the realization that you didn't achieve everything that you were destined for, that is what you should be afraid of. So this year for me, it's not holding back. It's everything that gets presented for me. It's preparing for every opportunity. It's working every single day. It's empowering myself. It's unleashing my potential. That's what I'm trying to do. But while I'm doing that, I want to help empower other people to unlock their potential as well.
Love that. And just a side note, it's crazy. I didn't even realize how many different concepts that we share. You know, you study enough successful people, you will realize these thought processes are the same. And this is a story that I've maybe shared once or twice before, but like that thought of like not looking back on my life and having regret. Dude, that was my driver to be like, fuck it, I'm going all in. And it was something where I had to have a bad experience to have that thought. And I lost a buddy of mine at 18 years old, my best friend, in a car accident. And that was the thing where I had no fear of doing exactly what I wanted. That next year, I left school and I went all in on exactly to where I'm at today. This office is a thought I had 8 years ago, where I said I want to create my own environment where I could literally create whatever I want on a daily basis. Hence, we're talking about these side projects and just special projects that I'm doing on the back end, and it's all about things like, I would love to create this. I think people will like it, but to tell you the truth, Fredo, like, I really just want to make it. Like, it would just be cool, you know?
Yeah.
So with that, I hope you guys got some inspiration from that. Fredo, we'll go ahead and put his Instagram right here. Give him a follow. He is truly an amazing person. Maybe you could explain to the people. We actually brought this gift to the office. Tell him a little bit, whatever words you have to just leave him with some power. And I don't know.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So Nikk is an amazing individual. I love his energy, his leadership, his qualities, everything that he's about. You radiate just joy, leadership, and just you're so powerful, man. And for me, it's all about being memorable. And you've done so much for me. So every time I see you, I just want to express my gratitude.
Thank you.
So I had this crystal imported from Brazil as a gift for you. I'm all about crystals, energy,
beautiful.
and just amplifying everything, because your thoughts become energy, and the things that you consistently think about produce your results. So having the right environment for you can amplify your results. It can amplify your thinking and get you in the right state of mind. So that's why I give him a gift.
Awesome. Thank you.
Cool,
All right, guys. All right, tune in next time.
I'm the realest one that's repping. Oh my God, if I die, I'm a legend.